Darktide is officially out today, and you might be wondering, what class should I play? The short answer is go out there and experiment, but for those of us who like to know what we're getting into, I'm gonna outline the 4 classes you can play as, so that you can figure out which one fits your playstyle the best. I will show you the main passives and abilities that you start with, so feel free to pause the video if you want to read all the descriptions, but to keep it snappy, I'm gonna go ahead and summarize each one for you. Let's start with the Sharpshooter, which is the one I've played the most so far. This class excels at taking out elites and specials and has access to a powerful frag grenade as its tactical action. You will start out with a shovel, yeah, you heard me right, it's a shovel, and a basic lasgun for ranged combat. Your passives are increased weak spot damage and ammo capacity, and the class ability enhances your aim and damage to weak spots, as well as highlighting elites and specials, so they're way easier to hit. That latter part was a huge deal for me, since it is your job to dispatch those quickly, and you very often can't see well in the backline to target them properly. The highlighting enables you to pick them out from the crowd really effectively. A lot of the guns you get early on are semi-automatic, but you eventually get access to an awesome recon lasgun that is auto and does insane damage to single targets while also handling crowds pretty well. The Psyker is a weird one, as they don't have a grenade in the tactical action, but instead enters a casting mode where you can cast magic on a single target. This works by charging it up until they explode, building up a meter on your end as well. Once that meter goes to 100, you literally die, so you know it's kind of a big deal. When you kill an enemy with this skill though, you earn a warp charge, which will give a flat damage bonus and reduce the buildup that can kill you. It's a great class to deal with elites, but I personally struggled to juggle, that's a bit of a mouthful, struggled to juggle the magic casting with dealing damage to crowds. There's probably a good flow to it that I totally missed, but just be aware that it isn't as intuitive as other classes in my opinion. You start out with a sword and a revolver, which are pretty solid and will be your bread and butter until you start seeing more elites in higher difficulties. The class skill is a crowd control push that knocks enemies over, discharging your warp charges, and turns out to be incredibly helpful. For Vermintide veterans expecting a Sienna clone, that is not the case. Magic here complements the ever-present shooting and whacking instead of replacing it entirely. They do get some dope power staffs though. The thick Ogryn comes in swinging. You get it because he like swings and okay. As the best operative to dispatch the riffraff enemies and hordes. Melee is their bread and butter, and the passives make them tankier and deal more heavy attack damage. They also get a bonus to revive and assist speed, which is quite nice. I love having one of these guys in my team. It's very nice to play around as someone who mains Sharpshooter. They start with a pipe and a huge ass cannon looking gun. Slow as hell to reload, but packs a real punch. The tactical skill is toss in a grenade box. Yes, they get an A for subtlety, dealing lots of damage to a single target. The class skill is rushing in, knocking over enemies as you come into contact with them, getting a bonus to attack and movement speed right after. Last but not least, the Zealot. This one is very interesting as the passives give you bonus melee attack speed, and also increase your damage the more health you're missing. To enable that high-risk playstyle, it also adds resistance to a lethal hit, allowing you to play that thin line where you're dealing a ton of damage and almost dead. So as you can tell, you'll always be balancing out your HP as a resource, but also as a source of extra damage if you're willing to take the risk. Their tactical move is a stun grenade, and you'll start with an axe and an auto pistol. The class skill is a forward dash similar to Ogryn, and in this class, you're focusing on high melee damage output and excelling at dealing with armor in general. So considering all that, if you want some great starter classes, I'd recommend Ogryn or Sharpshooter depending on your preference of melee or ranged. The 2 other classes are awesome, but I found my mental stack quite often overwhelmed with things like balancing my health or trying not to kill myself as the Psyker. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the game. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. What is your favorite class? I'd love to hear about your experiences. And we're streaming this on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So consider checking out the stream. We'll see you there. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.